everyone, my name is Amanda Rodrigues and I'm back almost after 3 years because I had to take a break because of my study commitments. And 4 years ago, if you all remember, I started my blog and my blog under the title M's Mind Spark Igniting Your Mind. And it was again on a World Mental Health Day, and here I am again on World Mental Health Day, that is today, restarting my blog and my blog. So, as you all know, every year on the 10th of October, we celebrate the World Mental Health Day, and this year, the World Mental Health Federation has chosen the topic It's time to prioritize mental health at the workplace. So if you go to see, a lot of working people have a lot of stress, they have anxiety, some have depression due to work-related pressures, and this affects the productivity of the employees, and in turn it affects the organization. And lately I've realized that it does not end with the organization, but later on it puts a pressure on the healthcare services as well. So it is very important to prioritize mental health at the workplace. So, like always, I would like to share my experience in relation with this topic. So, I don't do any paid work right now, but when I was in UK, I did work for some time. And in UK, the health prioritized a lot. They have things like health and safety and zero tolerance policy and something called as reasonable adjustments that help people to stay in work. So I used to do a lot of shift work, and slowly it started affecting my mental health. Though I was taking medication, though I was taking care of my mental health, it was still affecting me. And so my doctors just came to know that I'm doing shift work, and I was doing very early shifts and late shifts, waking up very early as 2 3, and sleeping as late as 2 3 when I used to do the late shifts. But then with a letter from my psychiatrist or the GP, they gave me something called as reasonable adjustments, where I didn't have to do early shifts or very late shifts, and I had to do just one shift. So I would like to share my recent mental health story today on World Mental Health Day. So after 8 years of struggle without help, 5 years of bipolar disorder diagnosis, treating only with medication, and no will or no knowledge to overcome it. Then 2 years of learning to manage it and succeeding. 1 year of perinatal depression, and 8 years coming out as a warrior with few ups and downs for the last 8 years. So my life was sailing smooth, and my health professionals, my spouse, my family, and of course myself were very happy with my recovery. But what happened 3 months back was a real surprise. We really didn't see it coming. And I had just finished my MA psychology exams, and I was meant to be super happy. But 2 or 3 days after I finished my exams, I started feeling very low. I did not have any energy at all. I had total loss of appetite. I used to cry most of the time. I had brain fog. I was not feeling like talking to anyone except my husband. Then I was very irritable, and I did have thoughts of ending life as well. So, but where I told myself that there were many causes that must could have led to this, but I just felt there was nothing for me to cause. There was nothing to cause what I was feeling. So I was very confused, like why this happened. But then I realized that the cause is not important, but what we do about it and how we overcome it is more important. And firstly, I felt really like a failure. I even said to myself that it seems like I'm back to square one, and I actually thought it is all over. But then I was all ready. with my knowledge, my experience, my skills, and of course, trust in my creator and my support system that I will get through this. So, what are the things that helped me? So, firstly, I remember me and my husband, we were very lost because it was after a long time, almost 8 years. And I remembered parents who have had their second child after a gap of 8 years, and they have forgotten how to look after a newborn, even though they have done it earlier. So, what helped me was first accepting what I'm going through and telling myself that it is not my fault. Then, letting my psychiatrist and psychologist know and following their advice. Then, one thing I made sure from day one is that I got out of bed every day, no matter how I felt. Then the next thing I did was I used to leave my bedroom and spend more time in the living room. And then simple things like getting a new haircut, watching a comedy movie, playing with my daughter, getting a massage, or just getting your nails painted, and simple things like that. And spiritually spending a time in prayer. Then I also saw that I had enough sleep, and I also did some meditations like progressive muscle relaxation and mindfulness, and all this slowly helped me to overcome it or to get out of this depressive phase. So, through this episode, I learned a lot of things. Some of them I would like to list a few. So, first one is anything can happen to anyone. So, sometimes, no matter how careful you are or how, um, no matter how much care you take, you can't tell what will happen next. And this is for anyone, no matter how careful you are. Then secondly, I learned is every time we fall we rise. So though at the start I felt like a failure and I'm back to square one, here I am rising day by day, not wholly though, because as someone has rightly said, it does take time to recover from an episode. The next thing is that this was like a relearning of how to deal with a depressive episode, almost like a hands-on training. And also I got to empathize better with others going through the same thing. So this is my mental health story, and titled Back to Square One and Back. And I'm glad I could share it with the world on this World Mental Health Day. Wishing you all a very happy World Mental Health Day. Thank you and God bless.